What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Kumite Lifestyle, where the mat meets the mic. I'm your host, Nick Arndt, and I appreciate you tapping in for another episode. Whether you're watching us on YouTube, listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or streaming the show on your favorite podcast platform, thank you for being here and supporting what we're building. Every view, every listen, every follow, every comment, every review, and every share helps this podcast continue to grow and reach more people. If you're new here, this show is all about real conversations, real stories, and real people doing meaningful things. And if you've been rocking with us already, you know what time it is. Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe on YouTube, follow the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, leave a rating or review, and share this episode with somebody who needs to hear it. Now, let's get right into this amazing conversation. What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Kumite Lifestyle Podcast. And today we are joined by Luis Sanchez, all the way down in Florida. Luis, welcome onto the show. Thank you for hopping into the studio, man. How's it going today?
It's going great. Thank you guys for having me. It's good to be here. Yeah, it's a great experience for all of us sharing out what I have to say with my karate journey and possibly inspiring others to join the karate life with us.
Absolutely. And Luis, where are you currently right now in the world?
And currently right now, I'm here in Plant City, Florida. I train at Chris Weldon Karate Club. I am a first-degree black belt in Shotokan Karate. I am also a 2021 AAU Karate state champion and ongoing competing at AAU Nationals, which is next week. And yeah, it's going to be an exciting time for me.
Absolutely. Yeah, this time of year is it's always fun and exciting for the athletes and the coaches, especially in the AAU world, because like you said, there's nationals coming up. I know a bunch of people going to Romania like after that. So it's just an exciting time for sure. So yeah, huge shout out to your sensei as well. And I had TJ Bright on recently as well. And I know that's someone that you train with too. And I remember way back when I was, I say way back, but when I did AAU and I was on the team, I went to Italy with two of Sensei Chris's students. Do you know Carter Moore or Kyle Queenan?
Their names sound familiar. They've been mentioned in the dojo before, but I personally never met them before.
Yeah. So those guys were the ones that I kind of came up with, and I know that they trained at the dojo that you do now. So it's cool to kind of see it come full circle.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, it's great. It's great seeing a lot of good friends, a lot of familiar faces joining Kumite Lifestyle, good faces, meeting new people in these tournaments. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, man, absolutely. So, and I'm glad that you're here. So let's go back in time. Let's give the viewers some context for those either listening or watching. When did you start martial arts? I don't want to assume karate because I don't know if that's your first thing that you did, but take us back in time. When did you first start training?
Yeah, it was around maybe 2018, 2019. I first joined karate when I was about 11 years old. At first, I never really thought about doing anything in martial arts wise, but I was kind of looking more so for a bit of a hobby. And my mom had saw the dojo every time we would pass by, and she was like, "Hey, like maybe we should give this a try for you." And then I was like, "Yeah, like I'll give it a try. Like it looks really cool." We walked in. As there was a class going on, first people I saw were some orange belts doing their stuff, and I was like, "Wow, that's what I want to do in the future." And we got me signed up. We had a couple of classes with some teachers showing me the basics, whether it's just a punch or a block. And yeah, it was great meeting a lot of these new people. Back then, I wasn't really more of the fit person. I was kind of, but not necessarily. But after karate, it started boosting up my physical abilities, and it was a great time, especially helping me with some discipline issues or some responsibilities that I had. But yeah, it was great joining at that time.
That's awesome. And obviously karate's continue to have a great impact on your life right now.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So going back to when you started and why and the impact that it's had on you, how often do you train now? Is this something that you do every day? Because I know you're getting ready to compete, but talk us through like a typical day in the life of Luis Sanchez. So
a typical day in my life now. I'm mainly kind of like one of the main instructors at our dojo. So almost every single day I go over there, teach some karate to some of our younger students. That if I'm not teaching, I'm also practicing. I'm training for myself. Like you said, with nationals coming up, and trying to prepare for that. And also even for my karate in general, just practicing little basic stuff. And yeah, just showing people what to do and also working on myself. And yeah, basically that dojo is now my home now. I'm not really usually home throughout the week, but it's a great little second home to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things like in life, when you find something that you really love and the community and the environment, like as you're mentioning, it's kind of hard for it not to become a second home. And it's cool that you're in a place where you can give back, not only train, but also teach as well. And I would love to hear about your teaching career as of right now. But before we do, let's jump into, what you have coming up. So you mentioned nationals. So what is the AAU, for those either watching or listening, like how would you define AAU karate?
AAU Karate is more so kind of like a really great organization that can help kids, whether martial arts or even in general, just to come out and compete, show off what they want to show off, and it's also a great experience in helping you get better. For me, for example, I started off and I wasn't so great at doing tournament work because it was a way more different system than it would just be being normal karate. But as the years passed, I suddenly gotten better, and then it not only has to help me with competing, but it's also helped me in my karate in general, getting more quicker, more so acknowledging the facts that there's different system. And also, even when I was little, I didn't even know there were different styles of karate. I only thought karate was just
Yeah.
one simple thing. But meeting all these new people from different styles like Ishinru, Goju-Ryu, Kyokushin, a lot of these different things. And yeah, that's really the best way how I can explain AAU karate. There's a lot of great people. No one's enemies there. They all want to be your friends, and we're all just fighting. But it's nothing personal. It's just the score. But after the match, you guys are back to being friends, and that's about it.
Dude, that's such great context there. And I love your breakdown, especially how you said about, well, a couple of things you said that karate, it's easy to think that it's just one big thing. And I guess that kind of is actually, a lot of people think jujitsu is karate. A lot of people think everything's
Yeah.
karate,
Mhm.
So it's nice to know that karate, like the word karate is still very popular, but
Yeah.
people can classify it kind of differently. But yeah, there's definitely tons of different styles in karate. I do Ishinryu myself,
Yeah.
so it's and I've obviously quite a few Ishinryu practitioners, especially down in Florida as well. So I think it's cool, like you said, how AAU is kind of like a melting pot, but it very much is for everyone. It's something that I've really loved about the AAU. Even my time competing there was how close everyone is. Because you can be from this part of the country, that part of the country. But when you come to nationals, and like you said, so like yourself, you compete, but it's not personal. You know,
Yeah.
I think that's a really good definition of how, like, even such an elite athlete like yourself, you can still compete, want to win, but at the end of the day, it's all good. So where does that mindset come from? Did you is that something you had early on, or maybe someone had to remind you, like you're reminding the viewers now? Like, where's your mindset for that come in?
Well, it really started this season in the AAU Florida season for competing. Back then, I wasn't really set on just making friends. I was just more so there going to compete, trying to win medals, even possibly win trophies. But this year, also, I was competing more as a black belt. Years past, I wouldn't be competing as a black belt. So what that helped me too is that gaining the experience and also showing that there's someone that's going to be better than you, and that's something that you can use yourself to try to prepare yourself in order to be better. Like, for example, there was this one guy that had beat me in my sparring match this last tournament I competed in. Great guy. I won first place in Kata. I got second place in Kumite. It was great. And I didn't feel like, oh, I lost. I just felt like it's something that I'm missing. That's something I want to try to get better at. Something not to show off, not to boost anyone's ego, but it's something to kind of help you gain more confidence in yourself, but something that can really help you throughout your life too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's more than just karate, right? It's what you take off the mat or off the tatami, as they say, for sure. Man, that's awesome, dude. It's sounds like to me that you've been well trained, not only in the karate sense, but you've had a great upbringing. Again, I don't want to assume, but
Yeah.
like just from this conversation, you have a really good level head about yourself. So what goes into the preparation when you're about to go to the AAU Nationals?
Well, like for this year, this is my first time competing in national, so it's going to be a great experience. I'm not really thinking about more so of I do have that mindset that I want to win, but at the same time, it's also taking in that experience. Like there's going to be obviously people from the whole country basically coming down to one place to try to see who's the best of the best. That's what I'm still trying to do, but at the same time, it's also I can't boost up my ego, then all of a sudden lose and then feel bad about myself. It's just something that you just have to live with. It's like I said before, you're not really fighting there just to beat everyone. You're also fighting there to kind of like gain confidence and show that your style is kind of like the best style, really.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a showmanship, it's like
Yeah,
gladiators, right? Like all
yeah,
trying to prove like my style is the best, but still keep in mind that, everyone is still good,
yeah.
obviously in their right way. So this is your first nationals. So why is this your first nationals? I'm just curious because you've been training for a while
Yeah.
now.
No, in years past, I never really thought about nationals with like family and all that, about going to all these different places. But this year, it's really opened my eyes, especially about competing, because I've gotten so much better from years past. And since it's kind of near to home, that's also another reason why I would want to go. And then also just to get more experience into, especially for competing, to just try out these different things, like working as a team with other people from different dojos or even from different styles, and just gaining that experience is really what means to me, but also winning at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Do you have any specific training that you're doing yourself for this upcoming event, or are you just training like you have been since January or last year? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
did that change for
So
you at
after,
all?
yeah, after this last tournament, which was the state championship, after that tournament, that's where I decided to start picking up the pace, because I know there's going to be a difference from just a regular state tournament and to a national tournament. So it's just kind of like a little boosting up preparation. It's like me fixing up my cardio, going on runs every now and then, lifting some weights, trying to build up my body, but also working on karate, especially with Kata and Kumite, where you're making sure that my stances are good, trying to fix little minor mistakes that I'm not seeing but others can see.
Before we jump back into this conversation, I've got to put you on. The official Kumite Lifestyle shop is open and the merch is ready. We've got shirts, hoodies, hats, accessories available now, and every purchase helps support the show, the content, the guest, and everything we're building. So if you've been enjoying the episodes, this is your chance to support the podcast and look good while doing it. Head on over to kumitelifestyle.com, click the shop, and grab your gear today. Use promo code KUMITE, Kumite, and receive a 15% discount for each purchase. Don't just watch the movement, be a part of it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so the collaboration with your senseis, your team. Do you guys have a big dojo that goes to nationals?
Yeah, so basically we kind of gonna go as of one with Shion Chris Welben, Shion Mark Penner, and also Sensei Kaning from Kaning Karate. We kind of we're kind of one big family. We call it sister dojo. So say that some of people, like for me example, I want to go train with Shion Penner's dojo. They would kind of talk it out, and that they would decide if they would let me go. And it's kind of like it's not that we're all kind of like going against each other. It's kind of like we're all in this one big circle together, working as a family. So
Yeah.
even for nationals, some of our people can be working with them for Team Kata, Team Kumite. It's kind of like one big family. That's the best way I can really say it.
No, it makes sense. And who are some of the, top competitors in your division? Like anyone specific that you're gunning for, or like any groups of people in your division that are going to give you a good
Yeah.
challenge?
Yeah, one of the good challenge was the one of the guys that had beat me for Kumite in the last tournament. His name is Hanzith. He's a really great guy. He's a really sharp fighter, and I admitted to that to him. And that's one person that I wanted to go up against, and I haven't all season. And then the one time that I do, he beats me. I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's like nothing personal. It's like that's something that I wanted. That's something I wanted to get from him. Also, same thing with a guy named Gustavo. He's great in kata. I've seen him perform as kata. He's from Shotokan as well, so it'd be good to go head to head to him. Same thing with someone named Evan. He's great too, especially in Kumite. I went up against him before. I lost, but it's also good to kind of build myself back up and then go for a rematch and then possibly do better this time. So yeah, it's kind of like these other specific people, even other people that I never met from out of state, even coming, that they can be better than me too. But it's just also great. It's not that mindset of me going in there being like, oh, he's gonna beat me. It's also that experience talking about, oh, I want to learn something for myself. But also, if I beat him, great. But if I lose, it's still just as great. You get that experience, but you also make a new friend at the same time.
Yeah, and also knowing that you deserve to be there because you put in the hard work. So
Yeah.
everyone there at any given point can win. That's the beauty of combat sports. I was just at a big wrestling event the other day, and like anyone can win these matches. In so same thing with the Kumite matches. I think a lot of times fighters, right, we tend to fight the name, not the person themselves. And then
Yeah.
when you do that, then guess what? Like you've already lost. So I think I think challenges are good because I'm sure you'd agree that chasing the top is fun and it gives you something to strive for.
Yeah.
It's hard to be a champion, but it's hard to stay as a champion.
Yeah, just like that. Yeah, like I was saying before, it's basically kind of like what you just said. It's not really about more so the rank as well. So it's not kind of like of your self esteem.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So I would love to know. So, like, what's the qualifications to go to the AAU Nationals? Like, how would you best explain that for anyone maybe who's watching, or maybe someone that's had interest? Because I love that you said this is your first nationals and your why, meaning like the reason why you're going has justification. And when you have a big enough why for anything in life, you're going to chase after it. So
Yeah.
if someone is, seeking to go to nationals, tell us through your own experience and your own perspective, if you will, what's the qualifications for an athlete to reach into the national level?
Yeah, for me, for qualification is that obviously you really have to put in the work. Some people they tend to go to nationals kind of being a mindset, oh, like I'm just there. But there's other people that have trained so hard that they put their bodies on the line, their blood, sweat, and tears, trying to just be on the very top. Kind of like same thing for me. I've been training my butt off, I've been sweat all over the mat, even some blood. But it's kind of like that little mindset that you can even do bad, you can even have a rough season per se, but if you have that mindset that you want to get better, you can achieve it. So it's kind of like that saying that reach for or go reach for your goals. Like your goals are there for a reason. It's not something that you can just push off to the side, but it's something that if you want, you really have to put your mindset on it.
Yeah, I love it, man. That's a good mindset. It's a good breakdown of what you just said there. And for the viewers, I think that can really resonate with all walks of life as well. Just, chasing after what you like. It's not going to be easy. It's never easy,
Yeah.
Anything like it's as they say, like anything worth having is not going to be easy. Otherwise, if it was easy, it wouldn't be as much, as far as earning it. I used to have this it's not my saying, but I remember one time a friend that I used to hang out with used to say like when you cook a whole meal, it means a little bit more because you cooked it. Anyone can go out,
Yeah.
but because you did the hard work, it's like, you know what, this means more because I actually put the time in. Absolutely. So you mentioned that you're a kata guy and a kumite guy. If which one do you like better, or do you like both?
Well, beforehand, I was kind of more of a kata guy, but during this season, I felt like I've been focusing a lot more on my kumite now because it's kind of like not really to boost my ego that I know I'm pretty good at kata now, but it's also kind of I have a bit of flaws in my kumite, so I've been focusing more on my kumite than a bit of my kata. So now, based on right now, I feel like I'm more of a kumite guy than I am to a kata guy.
Yeah. If you had to pick one though, like if you had to pick, because I know there's athletes that pick one, but if I said, all right, Luis, you got to pick one, which one is it?
I'd say probably a kata because kata there's different variations that you can use, kind of like what we call bonkai. Yeah, it's kind of like using that to show off a move. Sparring, you just kind of show off a bit of techniques that you learn. All right, that's great. And you score a point. But for kata, you get to not only show basically the techniques of it, but you also get to show the beauty in karate on all in one whole. Like a sharp movement or even a slow movement, kind of like even a jump, for example. It really shows that beauty in all the sports, whether each style, Shotokan, Ishinryu, all the styles. We each have our own little aspects of karate that we all kind of make into one beauty of a circle.
Yeah, that's a good breakdown as well. Yeah, I love kata. I love kumite as well. I've always been very impressed with the guys that can do kata and they can win with it. Because um, what do you think separates a really good kata person from the average kata person? Like, what do you look for specifically?
I really look for kind of more so sharpness. Like you see all these people in WKF, even for Pan American. Like for example, there's Ariel Torres. I'm a great kata guy. I've seen a lot of his videos. He's really sharp at it. I see his stances would kind of be really deep. His movements are sharp. He knows how to hold a movement. He knows how to even hold it for a quick second. That's something that I kind of like seeing, even at just a regular AAU tournaments. If I see a specific kata, whether it's my style or not, I still look at it, see if there's any little wobbliness or what or kind of flaws in that kata. But overall, they can do their kata really great, sharpness, everything. And that's what a lot of people try to strive for.
Yeah, it's easier said than done, of course, but yeah, there's a lot of great I've seen a lot of great katas across the board, but yeah, I would say the ones that really stand out is their overall kimi, right? Their just overall presence, their kias, right? Last year, I was not at nationals last year, but I did watch the grand the grand finale, if you will, or the finals. I'm sorry. And the guy that won Kata for males, he's a Shotokan guy. His name is Caio de Silva. I don't know if you know him or
Yeah.
not, but bro, super super sharp, dude.
Right. Yep.
And then like I was watching the other athletes that made to the finals as well, and everyone is good, of course.
Yeah.
But there's levels, bro. There's
Mhm.
levels like of like
Yeah.
Kyle was there, and then like the next person that I thought was good was like there. Still very good.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's like I said, basically in tournaments, you can be very great, but there's always kind of going to be someone that's just a tiny bit more better because they kind of put in a bit of work too.
Yeah. I know you'll appreciate this. How do you feel about the kata athletes that only do kata, but maybe they don't fight like or fight at all? Because karate, in a sense, is for self defense. But I feel like, and again, I don't want to step on any toes here because I don't want to just assume that other dojos don't focus on the self defense or even just kumite. But I think to be a complete martial artist, you have to have trained or at least be familiar with, in a sense, of all the areas. So whether it be kata, kobudo, or kumite. But what's your opinion on that? Like take like I don't know, take the best kata guy in the world. Sure, they can perform, but can they actually fight? You know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
think because you do kumite, I think you are like a really good person to ask that question to.
Yeah, I've thought about that before. I've thought about it even just yesterday about asking one of these top kata guys, like, "Hey, I seen you do like a lot of kata, but is there a reason why you don't do kumite?"
This part of the episode could be sponsored by you. If you're a business owner, creator, entrepreneur, brand, or organization looking to get in front of the engaged audience, this is your opportunity. Kumite Lifestyle is growing, and we're always looking to partner with people who are doing good work and want to connect with the community. To sponsor an episode or to learn more, visit kumitelifestyle.com or reach out directly. Let's build something together. Now, back to the episode. Yeah.
But I feel like it's just that aspect of kind of like because what we're also trying to do, whether it's ANU or all these other karate tournaments, is that we're not only competing, but it's also kind of like we're trying to show the world what karate can do. So it doesn't have to just be showing off with fighting and all that, but also with the kata to show off the beauty with it. So it doesn't necessarily really have to be kind of one way or the other. Yeah, Kumite is really good to watch. It shows the strength of it, what it can do. But with kata, yeah, it can kind of show a bit what can you really do outside of there because you're not really going to be having gloves and leg padding. You're just going to have your bare fists and bare feet.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And kind of the showmanship, if you will, of karate. Kata's good. I mean, like if you watch the first Karate Kid, that was
Yeah.
Kata's,
Mhm.
like wasn't all fighting, but I think there's a lot of I don't think I know. There's great benefit to kata, and I find like some of the best fighters in the world are also good. I'm sorry, I take that back. Some of the best kata people in the world
Yeah.
are also some of the best fighters because their basics are so good in my opinion. Now you take a good fighter, maybe they're so focused on the being crisp and quick, but maybe they haven't really set the time to really focus on the kata itself, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
it's nice that athletes get a choice though, because some people
Yeah.
do kata, some people do kumite, but I think
Mhm.
at the core of it, as long as you're studying karate for what it was, truly
Yeah.
intended for, then you're not missing out, in my own opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Just like you said, like karate, always in the dojo is really for self defense. Like, yeah, tournaments are good, but it's also to focus on what karate can really do for you out in the real world.
Yeah, 100%. So, obviously your goal is to win, but what divisions are you competing at nationals?
Nationals for I'm mainly going to be competing in an 18-20 male division. I plan on competing for mandatory kata. So for me, it would be Shotokan mandatory kata. I'm competing in flash kata. I'm competing in sanban kumite, and I'm even competing in a team kumite with some kids from Shihan Mark Pinner's dojo. So yeah, it's kind of a great experience. I've already experienced flat kata and just regular samba kumite, but I never really experienced a lot of these other things. Like for example, team kumite. Like I've done it in our dojo before, but I never actually competed with it. So it's just another great experience for me with that.
Yeah, explain how Team Kumite works.
Well, Team Kumite, it's kind of like, well, you're in a team, obviously. You're in a team for about 3 to 4 people, I believe. And it's kind of like the same system as you would for Samba Kumite. You can get an Ippon, Wazari, but my apologies if I may say some incorrect stuff. But really, you're going to be in the team. I believe it's an Olympic Team Kumite where you can have that change, but you would have to have kind of like a starting lineup for each competitor. And after each time, that competitor will switch out, and then the second competitor would start filling in and kind of keep on switching out up until you either reach the limit of the points up or up until time runs out.
Okay. Yeah, it's a good breakdown. Things I appreciate that. And again, just for the viewers and listeners
Yeah.
watching that might be not really familiar with the different divisions that the AAU has to offer. That's awesome that AAU gives its athletes more opportunities to compete and to win.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there's all these different divisions from being young or from even being on at an elderly age. Like I've seen a lot of these elderly guys compete, and some of them are even senseis that having their own dojo, and like they try to show their students what they can also do, and what their students can try to strive for in the future.
Yeah, it's also very exclusive too. I love that that there's also like a division for the inclusive athletes, if you will. So yeah, it's nice to know that that you see all walks of life competing. Like,
Yeah.
what else are
Yeah.
you looking? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Or no, you go ahead. My point.
Now you're good. Now I was just going to ask, what else are you looking forward to besides the tournament? Do you get a chance to hang out with your teammates? Do you guys like sightsee, explore?
Yeah. We usually plan out something, whether it's just walking around or trying to explore, or even just sitting all together and just talk about really our day at the tournament or like how we feel about it. And it's just a great experience. Another way how we can all get closer, even if some people bring other people from other styles. It's just the same thing. Because like I said before, it's not we're all friends here. Nothing bad's happening, and just yeah, that's really much about it.
I love it, man. Yeah, I'm super excited. I can't wait to hear about how you do at nationals along with everyone else. So, Luis, let's take a break real quick and let's talk about stuff outside of karate. So, like, what do you do when you're not at the dojo?
When I'm not at the dojo, I usually just really try to spend as much time with my family as I can. If I'm not out here, I kind of out and about, just roaming my city. Maybe do a bit of shopping for myself. If not, just trying to hang out with some friends. Even sometimes on weekends, I'll try to invite my friends, just going out, and yeah, just really a lot of social time with my friends and family because I'm so that's basically karate is now really my number one job. It's just every day I'm trying to focus on myself, but also helping other people. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm also trying to work on myself, but also kind of how do I say it? Kind of like inviting everyone over and then just kind of like relapse on what's going on. Like for example, I recently graduated last month from
Congrats.
high school, so thank you. It's a really great achievement. So now also moving on and forward with life. Those types of friends, they're gonna start moving on with their life. So it's good to kind of catch up once in a while with that.
Yeah, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? So I'm sure karate is going to be something that's going to be huge in your life. And you also mentioned that you just graduated, which I think is a great milestone.
Yeah.
But where else do you see yourself in life besides from karate itself?
Yeah, aside from karate itself, I do plan to start 2 years in college in this year in the fall. But while I'm doing that, I'm also trying to join a sheriff's academy because I want to become kind of like a cop and like a deputy and all that. Because that's something I wanted to do as a childhood, and then with karate, it kind of boosted my mind up with that. With I can use these if someone were to attack me, but also with the discipline and the respect that karate has shown me. I feel like that's something I can also apply there, and also still helping other people out in the world.
Before we go any further, do me a quick favor. If you're enjoying this episode, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with somebody who would appreciate this conversation. That one share really does help the show grow. And if you're listening on audio, make sure to follow the podcast and leave a rating or review. It helps more people find the show, and it lets me know that you're rocking with what we're already building. All right, let's keep it going and let's get back into this amazing conversation. Yeah, Dan, I love it, dude. I think that's it's awesome to have aspirations and goals and, kind of that servitude mindset, where you can take the skill sets that you learned as a competitor and as a sensei over into the a law enforcement world, if you will. And yeah, you're definitely you're definitely the need to know self defense for sure. With the job
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. So you mentioned exploring the city. What is cool in the area that you live in? Like, how would you best describe, like, maybe not best describe, but if you had to sell the area where you live in, like, if I was coming to visit you, like, what would be like three hot spots that I should check out?
Three hotspots for me would possibly be the movie center. 100%. It's like a great little environment, especially for teens now and then, just to go out and just like explore. And okay, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, my thing kind of cut off.
Okay.
A movie theater, just kind of like a thing for teens coming up with just like exploring, even for ladies and boys, just kind of like a little get together. Number two would probably just be kind of like we have a lot of fast food areas over here, so like a good little quick bite to eat. But also kind of like little shopping stores like Marshalls or Ross or even just some other little stuff. Just kind of like yeah, I mean, it's also good for the city people because we have like a really good population here, and it's like a good way to kind of get people out and about just instead of staying in their houses. But one thing too is also with this heat over here in Florida, it's crazy, man. But
It gets hot,
overall,
doesn't it?
yeah, but overall with that, it's a good place. It's like a good little place where you can still kind of relax though.
Very cool. Something that I would love to kind of pick your brain at is, and I don't get a chance to ask each guest this just because of the different conversations that come up and the life experiences that they share, which it kind of ties into this. So I know you just mentioned that you just graduated. So hmm, what is what is life like for an 18-year-old? Not just an 18-year-old that does karate, but just navigating through life being the age that you are, because I know with social media there's
Yeah,
influences, there's content creators, there's all these crazy things I'm sure that, like, obviously
yeah,
that people can get into, but like, is it hard? And maybe it's kind of hard to kind of conceptualize that because you're living it right now, but imagine 10 years from now, if you had to look back and say, man, this was life for me at age 18, because I remember life when I was 18, which wasn't, too long ago in the past, but things were obviously different. But for you, is it hard for someone being a teenager nowadays with social media, with the pressure of having to look a certain type of way?
yeah.
But like for you, like what experiences can you give the viewers on what it's like to navigate life as a young adult, if you will?
Yeah, well, as a young adult now, when you're out of school, you obviously have to have that mindset is that, oh, like you're finally done, but you still have to do on something with your life. You can't just really like lay back. Like there's people that take gap years, that's understandable. But even after that, they still have to plan for their future, whether it's just even a small job. If they want a family in the future, they still have to find a way to not only provide themselves, but also provide for others, also for your family, like for your parents. Obviously there's going to be a time where they're not going to be here anymore, so you also still have to be you're going to have to depend on yourself with that. So whether it's saving up money, doing jobs, or even just kind of focusing on your health too. That's also a number one thing you got to watch out for is your health. Is you can't just be going out and then just partying every single weekend or just eating loads of junk food. You just have to think about that. It's just you really just have to prepare yourself for the future and what can come of it, whether it's good or bad.
I love that breakdown, and I 1,000% agree with everything you just said, especially about taking care of yourself now. It's interesting how as humans we have this notion that we have more time, or we think we have more time, or we always say like, "Oh, I'll just do it tomorrow." What's interesting is that we know what the right thing to do is, but then it comes down to how much are we going to procrastinate? Thing is like what excuse am I going to find for this? So at the end of the day, we know what we're it's like we all know what we're supposed to be doing, whether it's working, taking care of our family, eating right, like you said, fitness, all these things that are going to help continue us, make us better people down the road. But yeah, Luis, I think that's awesome that you have that focused, disciplined mindset, especially being, you know, yeah, the age that you are now. But honestly, it's not that hard to kind of comprehend or realize that you have that mindset because of your involvement with martial arts. I think people that start martial arts, especially at a young age, and they stick with it, they have a jump start in life
Yeah.
because they're being taught discipline, right? Because they're being taught like, hey, like there's a starting point, and then there's different checkpoints. I know you mentioned being a black belt, but it's like each belt level is like almost the same as a different grade level. So you understand like there's a process to everything. Things aren't going to come easy, and then when you work hard, then all of that success is going to show for it. So I think it's great from what you're saying that you've learned early on, like exactly what you need to do to stay successful and to keep moving forward. Speaking of being successful, you mentioned that you are a black belt, so I would love to kind of hear about the journey leading up to black belt. So I know you said you started training since you were 5, correct?
Or when I was 11.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah,
Yeah, age 11. My bad. So I was mixing up somebody else. So age 11. So when you got your black belt,
yeah.
what was that process like? And was that because I think being a black belt is amazing. Of course, earning it is, and obviously it's a lot of hard work. But tell the viewers, what was it like, or like what was your test like? How was that preparation to earn your Shodan?
Yeah. Basically, you're for the testing way how it goes. The day of the testing, you're gonna be there for almost basically about a full day. I remember for my testing, it was almost 10 hours just for one day. Because for that testing, you would have to basically show every single thing that you have learned ever since you want the day one where you started karate, all the way up to that day where you're testing for your black belt. So whether it's just katas, ippon kumite, even sparring and just like different like types of things that even do it. They'll even just make up something random just to see if you can put that concept into imagining that you're actually trying to use it. For preparation for that, for in my dojo, we kind of have what's called a black belt prep class, which the people that are eligible, so which would be what we call first Q with it, which is a brown belt with a black stripe that they're trying to test for what's called their Shodan Ho, which is a black belt but with the white stripe, kind of like a beginner black belt. And
Yeah.
then the Shodan Hos would be testing for their full range, which is a solid black belt. So those people would kind of be invited and they would be going out through different preparation classes. And once it gets towards the day of, either a week or so or 2 weeks before, we do a pre-testing for those kids. So to see whether or not they're prepared or they're ready for that testing. And for the cycle, yeah, I mean, it's just really putting in hard work. Testing one is gonna be really hard. You're gonna be drained by the end of the day. You'll get a small little short break, but overall, yeah, you're just really gonna have to put your mind into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you feel at age 11, did you think that you'd become a black belt?
At first, I wasn't really sure, but once I started seeing that I was actually pretty good, because obviously at white belt, no one's really good at karate per se. But once you start getting down the concept and once you start understanding it more, you'll see that you're starting to progressively get better. And there's been people that I grew up the rankings with that ended up leaving just because they didn't feel that they wanted to anymore. But for me, it's kind of like the goal is for black belt, but it's also when people get a black belt, sometimes they just think, oh, that's like the final stage and they're done. No, once you get to black belt, it's just like a whole new another cycle. Just imagine you're basically, once you get a black belt, it's kind of like you're a white belt again and you're going to start learning more stuff, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like we never like when we start something, especially karate, everyone kind of has this vision of what a black belt is. I mean, it's kind of pop culture to be a black like to know what a black belt is. It's kind of like this higher like glorified level, if you will. And to be a black belt in martial arts is it definitely takes years, and obviously with the right preparation, because obviously there's, as they say, like what's the word, McDojos out there that aren't necessarily promoting the the right things for the the students. But I feel if a student starts in a good dojo and they have, that strong grassroots and the fundamentals that you've been given, by the time they reach black belt, it's pretty much just a culmination of everything that they've already been learning and all the hard work and all the years that they've put in. So at your black belt test, I think I asked TJ this, would you do your black belt test all over again?
For my black belt test, I would probably say yeah. It was like I said, experience is one of my main things. It's just like learning something new is something that's really important to me. And for black belt, for of course, that's something really big because it's another milestone in your martial arts career. It's just something that gives you more confidence, but it also shows you your flaws.
Yeah. Yeah. And to know that once you get your black belt, like the journey doesn't stop, right?
Yeah.
If anything, I feel like when you get your black belt, that's when the journey really starts.
hmm Yeah, yeah. Even my sensei has said before, once you get your black belt, you're starting back to square one. You just basically all of the things that you've been learning from white belt all the way to when you tested your black belt. It's just kind of like what you said, like one big old kind of like combination that you're just gonna. It's basically still learning the basics at that point. You're still learning all of it to there, and once you get the black belts, you use the basics and then improve it even more.
I want to take a second to say thank you to everybody who supports Kumite Lifestyle. Whether you've watched one episode or you've been here since the beginning, I appreciate you. This show has grown because of the people who listen, watch, comment, share, and tell others about it. If you want to support even more, visit kumitelifestyle.com. You can check out the latest episodes, shop the merch, connect with us, and stay updated on everything we have coming next. This is bigger than just a podcast. It's a community. And I'm grateful that you're a part of it. Let's get back into this amazing conversation. Yeah. Yep. I think that it's important to remember where you come from, when you're training. But like you said, like when you get your black belt, because so many people quit when they get their black belt.
Yeah, so many.
And I'm sure you've seen it, it's like, but you know what though? It's okay. I've learned as a sensei, and like I would love to jump into that as well. But I've learned as an instructor that, there's different seasons of life. People do karate, people do anything for different reasons. And maybe black belt was that goal. Maybe they decide that once they got their black belt, they worked hard for it, of course. And maybe they realized like, oh, you know what? I want to do something else. And that's totally fine. But it took me a while to like kind of wrap my finger around that. Cause I'm thinking, you came this far. Why are you quitting?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like some of these kids like great friends that I grew up with doing karate with. It was a bit heartbreaking to me too
Sure.
when they left because it's like we both basically started together. We both worked hard, but then when one falls, it feels like I kind of had that I want to also strive, but also with them in my head.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because you came up with them. Were there ever times that you ever wanted to quit or maybe stop training?
There was a time when I believe I was a blue belt. In a blue belt cycle, there's kind of two stages in our blue belts. One that's kind of still learning the basic, and another one which is more advanced. When I was the first level blue belt, you kind of have to wait a bit of a while in order to test for your next rank. And that's kind of where, and also same things for our kids in our dojo, which kind of happens is that they feel like it's taking too long for them to go up the ranks, and they just feel like, oh, like it's taking so long. I'm probably not going to be good enough, and then they just end up leaving. So that's just something that even I felt like that. It's really like you really just have to have that patience. That's what karate is about. It's just like they're also not only testing your physical ability, but they're also testing your mind.
Yeah. And yeah, it's like the starting point is easy. The finish line is where we're going. But it's like once people get to the middle, it's like they feel like it's going to be forever to get to the ending point. So I get it. I think anyone that can take an honest assessment can agree. Like I'm sure there was some point that, not quitting, but maybe just got tired of it, just for like, just in the moment. But I'm glad that's not the case for you, right? Because you've gotten your black belt, you've competed, you've done well, and I'm super excited to to see and hear how you do at nationals. But before we close out, let's talk about being a sensei. What has that been like? And just teaching and giving back to the next generation.
Yeah, giving back is honestly great. I remember I first started helping teach or be an assistant when I was a blue belt, the second level blue belt. That's when I started helping out more, and it's something that I wanted to do before, but I just never really got the chance. But once I got the chance, I took it, and then meeting all these, even meeting all these kids walking in through that door, it's also reminding me of myself when I first walked in through the door, seeing all these kids possibly wanting to be at their level, if not a higher level. And it's just really great to see also putting a smile on these kids' faces. Like, yeah, we can be tough on them, but we also want to have fun with them, because like karate isn't just really all just like, like you want to be scary, but it's also you want to make friends in this dojo. Same thing with the teachers. We can be kind of hard sometimes, but we always say that only reason why we get hard is because we care about you and we want you to do better. But it's also that you also have to put that into yourself, because we're doing our job into teaching you and trying to give you that mindset. But it's also your part of the job in order to strive higher.
Yeah, absolutely. And also when you teach, it makes you better as well because you're realizing that what you're teaching has to be,
Yeah.
spot on. And I wonder, like when you were 11 and you were going through the ranks, I'm sure you had great teachers and great instructors. So was there a moment that maybe it was Sensei Chris or maybe another instructor that had great impact on you, and then you decided, you know what, I want to be a sensei someday? Was it something that happened in the past or just kind of organically over time?
For me, it would number one would be my sensei Chris Wellman. He's always been there. He's there for everyone. But once you start basically getting up the rankings, and then once you start also getting that mindset into striving more higher, he not only works with you as a sensei, but he also works with you as a person. Like he'll give you simple life advices. If he sees that you're down in the dumps, he'll pull you aside, try to maybe cheer you up, and even just help out everyone in the community. Like he'll help them. He'll even work with them for free sometimes, or he'll just go out to these different places and just trying to help the community itself with kids, especially because to me he's kind of like my second father, because he's really just helped me. I grew such a strong relationship with him, and I'm just very grateful that he stuck with me throughout this whole journey.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a huge shout out to Chris, of Sensei Chris, excuse me. And I'm glad that you guys have fostered a great relationship both on and off the mat, if you will. And I bet that now when you're teaching, you have a little bit of Sensei Chris in yourself that share with the, students. Do you ever find yourself maybe, quoting things that he shared with you to the students?
Yeah, a lot of things. Even to this day, still, like I'll still quote something that he's told me maybe even 5 years ago. I'll bring that and I'll just quote it on being from myself. And but then even some of the hirings, they would look at me and just go, "Isn't that what Sensei said?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm just quoting it." But yeah, great experience just showing these kids what not only can karate do for you, but it's also what it can have a huge impact on your life. Same thing with all of the other black belts, not just in Shotokan, all these other different styles. It's kind of like a similarity all in karate in one whole, that for reaching a black belt and also teaching more, it really helps you kind of get that mindset too.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think that's wonderful that you're giving back now, especially being, at the young, adult stage that you're at. You've just graduated high school and you're getting ready to, as I say, go on to the next big adventure, if you will. But you've stayed grounded in what you're doing. Obviously, you love martial arts, you love karate, and you're getting ready to, go to the, big nationals coming up. So, Luis, before we finish up, two things I want to ask. Where can people find you on social media? And then, well, yeah, let's start off with that. Where can people find you on social media?
My Instagram is going to be 813.luiss, lowercase l. It's going to be the same thing for all my other socials, whether it's TikTok or Snapchat, but those are my main three platforms. Instagram number one, TikTok number two, and then Snapchat number three.
Awesome. And then if you could give anyone a shout out or a thanks, who would you like to give a shout out to right now?
Yeah, I'd obviously like to give a shout out to Shion Chris Wellman for helping me across this journey. Also, Shion Mark Penner for helping our dojo as well. I would like to thank TJ Bright because he's also been my coaching with me throughout all my seasons. So I'm very grateful for him. And just also shout out to you. Thank you for having me once again. It was a great experience, and just thank you guys so much.
Absolutely, Luis. And huge shout out to those guys that you just mentioned. Those guys have been amazing trailblazers for karate, and of course TJ, who I recently had on as well. Man, just the level of talent that's coming out of the AAU now. It's been awesome it's been amazing getting to connect with so many awesome athletes like yourself. Thank you for hopping on and trusting the process. I was stoked when I saw your name come through. I did some research, of course, like I do for every guest. I was like, okay, like obviously this is the AAU guy. He knows what's up. So it just, I appreciate you for trusting me because, trust is one thing that, doesn't come easy. So I appreciate you hopping on. And for those watching and listening, make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, make sure to check us out, leave a rating, and then go from there. So Luis Sanchez, it was an honor to have you on. Super excited to see and hear what you have going on for the rest of the time that you'll be training, of course, and more importantly, staying tuned to how you do at nationals. So I have a feeling that this won't be the last time we connect. I'm looking forward to what you have to offer in the future. So on behalf of Kumite Lifestyle, thanks for hopping on, and we hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. That's another episode in the books. I want to thank today's guest for being a part of the show and bringing real value to the conversation. And to everybody watching or listening, I appreciate you more than you know. There are a lot of great things you could be doing right now with your time. So the fact that you spent some time here, it means a lot. Make sure you subscribe, follow, share, and visit kumitelifestyle.com to support the show and check out our amazing merch in the shop. Remember, every story matters, every conversation has value, and we're going to keep building one episode at a time. Thank you for tapping in. I'll catch you on the next one.